There could be some good news on the horizon as far as the weather is concerned for India, because forecasters are predicting above average rainfall during this year's monsoon. Now, it's impossible to overstate the importance of the monsoon to Indian life, on its agriculture and the economy. The stock exchange, for example, well, that surged by 123 points on that forecast being made. Well, let's talk about this a little more with Thomas Schaffernacker, who's here with me. And Thomas, that is obviously good news, because the monsoon for the last couple of years has been below average. I mean, why, first of all?
Well, the usual suspect is, of course, El Nino, which we've had for quite some time. It's now starting to ease. And El Nino is obviously responsible for disrupting big climatic circulations around the world. And one of that is, of course, the monsoon. But what's happening right now is we're seeing an unusual spell of extreme heat, or the pre-monsoonal heat. That happens before the onset of the monsoon. The peak usually happens around May, June. We're only in the middle of April, and we're seeing these extreme temperatures of around about 45 or 46 degrees, and we need the monsoon to break that heat. And that heat started very early, and the monsoon's still a long way away.
And I mentioned in the introduction, I mean, it is impossible to exaggerate just the importance, both to the economy, culturally. I mean, it is written about in literature, isn't it, the monsoon? It is so important for so many aspects of Indian life.
Absolutely, and everybody in India knows that. About a billion people rely on the monsoon. It's obviously vital to the economy. They get around 75% of their annual rainfall just within that monsoon season, say between June and September. And even if we just get a delay of the onset of the monsoon by a few weeks, it could actually mean the difference between bumper crops and famine. So vast amounts of people rely on the monsoon to kickstart the harvest, and that's how they make the money. That's where the money goes into the economy.
And it's interesting, I mean, that word monsoon, it is so synonymous with India, and yet it's not exclusive to India, is it?
No, actually, many parts of the world experience a monsoon. For example, northern parts of America experience a monsoon where you have moisture coming out of the Pacific and the Gulf of Mexico, and they actually bring these monsoon winds bring rainfall to central parts of Mexico, which then bring rainfall to southwestern parts of America. That's one area. Also, the East Asian monsoon is another one. For many travellers that travel across Southeastern Asia, they're very well aware of how the seasons change across Southeast Asia. There's one big circulation there. And then another one, which is probably not so obvious, is also something that we call the European monsoon, where we have also wet weather coming in during June.